Okay, for this assignment, we are going to draw this optical illusion where it looks like it's kind of, you have to get it at the right angle, but like it's kind of falling into a pit, which is what I see, but some people see the opposite where it looks like it's making a 3D pyramid. But I'm going to show you how to make this optical illusion. It is very simple. You will need a pencil, whichever one, your drawing pencil or a regular pencil. You can get a blending tool. You can use a stump blending tool like this. You can use your finger. You can use a Q-tip. You can use a tissue if you want to blend your piece. And I'm going to draw mine in marker so that you can see it, but remember you'll be drawing yours in pencil. I also have a straight edge, a ruler. This is optional for you, but you can use one of these. Because this is practice, it's okay to just hand draw it, but if you choose to do this one for your final project, then you would want to use a straight edge. So the first thing that I'm going to do is draw a square. Now, the size of your square is up to you. I found, let me start here. I found that a good, like a 4-inch square is a good size. Yours could be 5 inches if you want it to be. It could be 6 inches, it could be 3 inches, but I would not go smaller than 3 inches. I think that a 4-inch square is a good size. And you can see that I am estimating here because this is practice. So this is my very first step. Now this step I will have to draw with a pencil because you are going to erase a lot of this. So make sure that you draw with those whisper lines. And I am going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner like this. And I drew that in pencil because I'm going to erase most of those lines. Now I'm going to draw these stripes in. So this is my first example, and it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stripes, and then a square here. But this is an example that I did in class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still have 6. I did another one the other day where I had 8. It doesn't matter the number that you have here. Just know the more that you have, the deeper your hole or your pit's going to look. But it has to end on a color. So you want to do an even number. An odd number will not work because this part, this outside part, has to end on that black, or if you're using color. So I'm going to again estimate about 1/4 of an inch or about the width of your pencil. And I draw my vertical line. When I hit the diagonal, I stop. Then I do another one. Hit the diagonal and I stop. And I do this keeping them, now remember I'm estimating, you would measure out each one, because see that one's a little bit bigger, but that's okay, until you get, see how I have, that's about the width of my ruler, I have my square. So let's make sure we have an even number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do not have an even number, so I'm going to add one more to make 8. Notice I've drawn them all about the same thickness. I have the spot for my square here in the corner, and now I need to draw this row right here. So I take my ruler and I estimate. You would be measuring this to make sure this is perfectly square. If you're doing this digitally, you can of course use the shapes tool to draw a square there and then overlap them. Or you could start with this one square and then draw the lines, whichever is easier on the digital format that you're using. These optical illusions work really, really well on a digital format. Okay, so now I have this. I have my diagonal line, I have an even number of columns and rows, and I have my square. So what I'll do now is I'll fill it in. Now I did mine with black and white because black and white has a good contrast, and you can really see how that illusion is working with itself. If you wanted to do, say, this black part in red, that's completely fine. Just remember to keep this white and to make this part pink. So if you're gonna do something other than black, white, and gray, then make sure that your colors are like, you know, a white, a sky blue, and a dark blue. That, you know, that's your choice. But the black and the white work really, really well together. So I'm gonna outline these with a marker. Now, if you are going to use pencil and you're not going to use marker, then you can skip this step. I just want for you to see this better. Oops. I might have just messed that up a little bit, but that's okay, it's practice. And you can be drawing this with a ruler or a straight edge so that you get those lines nice and straight. Now, it works best if you mark it because you need to do every other stripe you need to do every other stripe in black. So if I do here, if I do this in black, then I'm going to leave this one white, black, white, black, white, black, white, black. So you can see that it's going to be that alternating pattern. And then you fill it in. If you are doing this with pencil, then of course you just fill it in with pencil. If you are doing this with digital format, then you can use the paint fill bucket to fill it in. The reason why optical illusions work so well in a digital format is because you get that nice, even, crisp line. And you want to have those straight edges. And I have this. Notice because I've marked it with an X, it's easier for me to know which ones are black and which ones are going to stay white. So I can just fill in that color. This is a very easy optical illusion to create, but it is something that you have to hold the camera or the paper at just the right angle, or you're not going to be able to see that optical illusion. And remember, optical illusions are known as trompe l'oeil, or to fool the eye. This first started to appear in art in the Middle Ages. And they used it to show perspective and foreshortening. And then it's kind of changed over the years and to be like these kind of eye tricks. And not so much about the perspective of a person and an image. All right, so here we go. So I have my patterns. I've got my black, I have my white, and now all I have to do is shade this part in. Again, if you were doing this in color, like this would be the darker one, white, and then that would be the lighter value. So I'm going to use my pencil and I'm going to shade that in gray. You can use a regular pencil, or which is what I used for this one, or you can use an ebony pencil or a drawing pencil, which is what I used for this one. Either way, you want it to be like a 50% gray. And when we did our value lesson, we said that 50% gray was kind of like 2 layers. Just remember to keep that nice and even. If you were doing this in pencil and not in marker, then this would be like your darkest black, like maybe about 4 layers of your pencil, and then this would be 2, and that would be 0. And that's how you get that nice even gray scale, right? And there you go. You can leave it like this, or you can use your blender. Blend it. You can use a Q-tip for that, your finger, tissue. You know, remember, stomps or blenders are only just like compressed, rolled up paper. And there you have it. You have your pit, and you have to put it at just the right angle. It's hard for me to see through the viewpoint. just the right angle to get that pit, or it's going to look the opposite and look like it's coming up into a triangle.